about serial killers being cruel to animals. Gacy, there are pictures of Gacy when he was a child, and he's laughing, holding a dog. Gacy never harmed animals. So with each one of these serial killers, when they're profiled, you have to take one each on an individual basis. They used to believe that, they would fall into the category of fire starting, bedwetting, or cruelty to animals. But that's not the case anymore as we study these serial killers, because not every serial killer is abused. Some may have a trauma incident in their life. Some may never abuse animals. Some may grow up, abusing and murdering animals all the time. So I find it very interesting that Gacy was affectionate to his son, but he was also kind to animals.
I hear over there.
I know, I heard
Somebody
something.
trying to come in.
Yeah, that's what it sounded like.
Yeah, this is.
All right, go ahead. Just let me know when you're ready.
We're set.
Almost had a burp. Okay. Gacy was extremely affectionate with his firstborn child, his son. That may have been because he may have been giving so much love to his child to make up for the love that he never received for his father, which is very interesting. Gacy was also kind to animals. He had several dogs, probably numerous dogs throughout his life. There are pictures of him as a child smiling and holding a dog. So there's this big misconception that every serial killer may have harmed animals or tortured them, and that's not always the case.
That's interesting. I didn't know that is not becoming the standard thought anymore.
It's changing. Things are changing. This guy, Steve Gianangelo, you got to get in contact with him, and I'll give you his name. He's in Chicago, in Springfield. But he has 2 books out, and, it's phenomenal what he's doing, because he's taking these, what we believe a serial killer is, but he's creating these new theories based on studying serial killers individually. You can't put that blanket over all of them. Dahmer was never abused. I mean, he saw things going on with his family, but he did have that trauma when he was left by his entire family at 18. So you do have to take each serial killer on their own basis rather than throw a blanket over all of them.
Let's see.
The manager, JC's. We didn't do the JC's in Waterloo.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
So can you talk about? Yes.
Yeah, this is when, he's in Iowa. Yeah.
Yeah, and I guess they had a really seedy underbelly that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that too. So Gacy joined the JC's in Waterloo, Iowa, and he rose in the ranks because of his outgoing personality and his persona of wanting to be a politician and work with the community. But there was also the seedy underbelly of that JC's. In order to bring in new members or possibly find potential victims, Gacy would invite other men to these parties where there would be prostitutes, and Gacy would even offer his wife to some of these men to sleep with. So they were swingers, and Gacy's sister even saw evidence of this at one point when, there was this swinging in action by, either Gacy or his wife at the time. So it was very seedy underbelly. But again, this is Gacy's way of not only presenting himself to the community, but presenting himself to prominent members of the community so they trust him. Yeah, we did that hotel room, the orgies, prostitutes. And let me expand on that one too.
Okay, yeah, yes.
Yeah. By hosting these orgies at hotels and showing stag films to the other males involved with the JCs, Gacy shows his own importance, and he's the cool guy now, so he's the friend of these other males. And again, this gives him this sense of importance and prominence with the other members of the JCs. Rise up in the ranks. Yeah, let me go through that too.
Okay.
JC's was such a big part of Gacy's life that he wanted to rise in those ranks. He would do anything. He even offered his wife to other men to give them blowjobs.
That is
Oof.
astounding.
Yeah.
Can we talk about a little more about how when he worked at KFC, he had access to a whole pool of potential victims?
Yeah. When Gacy worked at the KFC, he had access to a huge pool of potential victims because, of course, he was in charge of hiring new workers. And who would he hire? Mostly these young men. And these young men, if they weren't working there at the KFC with him, they would be helping him possibly with other projects at his home or with other odd jobs.